Hey guys, what is going on? In this video, we're going to do some live cold calling with the new hybrid cold calling method inspired by Alex Hormozi's exit with Gym Launch, where he sold for over 40 mil. Now, if you're new to this channel, we talk all things SMMA. I've scaled 4 agencies to 6 and 7 figures. We've worked with over 200 mentees in the SMMA space, where at least 27% of them will scale to the 6-figure run rate within 90 days of joining our agency incubator. So if you're struggling right now to get clients in your agency, you're stuck under 10K per month, and you're ready to warm up that Stripe account and start getting 1K, 2K, 3K payments coming in consistently, this training will help you book in at least 5 extra calls per week. Now, we found that if you spend 1 hour, we can at least get 1 booked call. So if you spend just 1 hour a day doing this method, you'll get 1 booked call a day. And if you have a decent close rate of 10 to 20%, then you'll easily scale up to 10K per month in a matter of like no time. And if you're going full time in your agency as well, then you get there even faster. So the reason I'm doing this video is we started doing what we call an agency speed run in our incubator. Now, what this is where we all hop on a Zoom call and we do live prospecting and live cold calls, and we post our results as we get bookings coming through. Now, the reason that this is so powerful is it's a way to just connect with other agency owners. It's a way to actually have accountability. So there's a time that you show up to actually do prospecting, and it creates a bit of consistency in your business, because when you're kind of doing everything remote, you can kind of get stuck, get lost, and not really have the accountability that you need to grow. So if you're interested in joining the agency speedrun, there is a link below to book in a call with our team. We can show you exactly how it works. Now, with that in mind, let's go into the hybrid cold calling method. Now, I came across this method when I watched a video where Alex Hormozi basically breaks down how he sold Gym Launch. Now, if you don't know who Gym Launch was a company, or is a company, that he started around 2015, where he used to fly out to gyms and he would sell high ticket packages for those gyms, and he would charge them nothing. He would only take the retainer off the back end. Actually, it was the opposite. He would take the front end cash and he would give them basically clients completely for free. He would fund their ad spend and he would do the sales as well, which is pretty insane. A pretty insane offer. So that allowed him to get clients really quickly. Now, over time, what he did is he started documenting how he did that, and he gave those results to other gym owners, and he eventually built that business up to a 50 mil per year business or something insane like that. And then he sold it for above 40 million. Now, one of the biggest things that the private equity companies or whoever bought the company off of him said to him was that we need a method that's not dependent on ads. We need more of an organic method. So when ads go down, we have a consistent way to generate new revenue that isn't dependent on ads. So what Alex did is he built a fully mapped out cold calling process that was basically 3 steps that he used in order to create new revenue coming through into his business that wasn't dependent on ads. Now, recently I've found that ad costs are significantly going up. I don't know whether it's the platform, it's the number of people that are running ads, and I really wanted a way to hedge against rising ad costs. Now, cold email is a good method, except it's finicky. It can be finicky and it's sort of hit and miss. One of the most powerful methods that you can use, particularly as a newbie, is cold calling. Now, the difference between your standard cold calling and hybrid cold calling is standard cold callings, you kind of sit down on your desk, you make a prayer, and then you just bust your nuts for an hour and hope to get in a couple of bookings. With hybrid cold calling, it's much more of a mapped out process. You need to understand that a cold call is exactly what it says, cold. It's basically lead generation. You're not doing setting. It's not appointment setting. It's lead generation. So you need to understand that the first phase, and I'm just going to put this on the screen here, is the lead generation phase of the call. Okay. So the first phase, you can see this little box here, is lead generation. So this is not where you're trying to close a deal. You're never going to close a deal on the first call. There'll probably be once in a blue moon opportunity where you can do that. But really, the first phase is lead generation. And by the way, guys, I'm going to be sharing a live cold call that you can watch of me actually implementing this process and going through the process step by step. Now, on the lead generation call, what you need to do is 3 things. The first thing is you need to identify the decision maker, okay? You need to identify who the decision maker is, get their name and contact details, because sometimes, particularly in niches like dental or other things like that, you'll get a gatekeeper, like a front of house admin, secretary, whatever. So the first thing is you need to find the decision maker. That's the thing, you need to note that down. The second thing you need to do is you need to drop a hook. Okay, so there needs to be some sort of hook that really works for you in order to get the attention of the person so that they actually respond and deliver the decision maker's details, and you can actually go and then move on to phase 2. Okay, so decision, hook, and now the last thing is your delivery. Okay, so your delivery obviously is super critical. Now, if you come across as a little bit nervous and you're not you don't speak clearly, or you sound too pushy, or you sound too optimistic, it's not going to work. So you need to make sure that your delivery is really good. Now I'm going to give you some quick tips on how to have really good delivery when you're doing cold calls. So the first thing with delivery is you want to sound nonchalant. That's really important. So you want to sound like you've just had lunch and you're not, in any sort of rush or in any great fuss, and you're just making a simple call. So you don't want to sound like you're a pimply teenager sitting in your mum's basement, like, I need to make like 1K this that. You don't want to have that energy. You want to have an energy of someone who's chilled. It's just a conversation. And one thing you've got to understand is that really at the end of the day, it's just a conversation. And so what you can kind of do to do that is, first of all, ways to practice a nonchalant tone is to role play, okay? The other thing is to record your voice. So I used to sit down in my car when I was completely broke, and I would record my voice, listen to my tonality, because I knew that sales was the key that was going to unlock agency for me. And I would record my voice and listen to how it made me feel. Then what I would do is listen to things that made me feel weird and try and change my tonality until my tonality was extremely dialed in. That's what I used to do. Now, the second thing is it needs to be clear. So if you sound like not clear and it's muffly and the connection's bad, it's going to be really difficult. So you need to make sure that when you deliver your lines, it's extremely clear. So you want to have a nice, bright and loud voice, very clear and direct. Okay, so that's the second thing, is you need to sound clear. If it's ambiguous, they don't really understand what you're saying, you're going to struggle. So make sure that it's nonchalant and then it's clear. And then the last thing is you need to make sure that you get the first 3 parts of the cold call, like perfect. Like if you don't get it perfect, it's going to be a struggle, and depending on who you get on the line, it will be difficult. So let's break down the first 3 parts. It's really simple. You call the lead and then you say, hey, is this name? Or hey, is this company? They're going to say yes. You say, great. How you doing? I'm Tom. And they'll say, good. And you say, great. The reason I'm calling is because we're looking to partner with niche in area. What we do is we're actually offering blah, 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 and we're only doing that for the next 2 months. Would this be something you're interested in learning more about? Now, you land those lines. Now, the first 3 parts, let me just backtrack, is the intro. So you want to sound nice and clear and confident. Hey, is that proprietary limited company? They'll say yes. You say, great. How are you doing? Okay. So you want to come across as normal. Okay. How you doing? Good. I'm good too. Now, the reason I'm calling is because, now I know some people with this method say, people are like busy and they don't want to know. But what I will say is that you want to have a little bit of charm in there. Like you want to have, just add a little bit of personality in there, and that's what's going to set you apart. Because if you come across as normal and likable, if you read a book called Influence by Robert Cialdini, he talks about the fact that likability is a really key factor to influencing people. You're going to be able to leverage that versus a stupid AI cold caller that your competitors are probably trying to set up, right? And here's the thing. Most agency owners don't want to do this type of stuff, so they spend literally months trying to build out an AI cold caller that doesn't end up working, and then they're back to square one. They probably go and get a job. So if you can learn to do this, learn to do sales, because ultimately, as a people-facing business, you need to learn to speak. You need to learn to speak to people. So you may as well learn that while learning while earning, right? Okay, so these are the three key things with the lead generation phase: lead generation, decision, hook, delivery, nonchalant, 3 clear parts. Okay, so I'm just gonna get rid of this section here so we can add some more parts. Okay, cool, perfect. Now the next phase. So just to be clear, the outcome that you want with phase 1 is you want to get either the information of the decision maker, or if you speak to the decision maker, you want to get the outcome that you want is a booked intro call. Okay, so you want to get a booked intro call. You don't want to do the intro call then and there. You want to get a booked intro call. It's very important. And that's where you move into phase 2, which is the intro call, or it's the setting of the decision maker for the closing call. Okay, so remember, phase 1 is not going to be booking a call, phase 1 is not going to be closing a deal. It's going to be lead generation. So you're trying to find somebody who has a level of interest in what you have to offer. This is why you need to make your hook really good. And then phase 2 is about setting the call or doing an intro call. So an intro call is where you actually get a booking on the calendar or a time reserved. Now, if you guys want to hack, if you struggle where people say, just send me an email, and then you send them an email and you never end up hearing back from them, I'm going to show you a perfect phrase that you can use in order to get them to book in a call almost 90% of the time, instead of getting them to say, send me an email. If you comment below script in the comments, I will send you the perfect phrase that you can use to get them to book in 90% of the time. Now, the way that you schedule the intro call, the way that you conduct the intro call is the following. You do the same opener that you did down here. Okay, you say, hey, is this John? John says, yep. You say, hey, John, this is Henry. How you doing? He says, good. You say, John, the reason I'm calling is I had a discussion with your colleague Martha yesterday. Okay, and now here's the thing. If you speak with the front of house and then you mention the front of house to the decision maker, you build more trust, because they're like, okay, this guy's spoken to people in my business. He kind of knows what he's talking about, right? So make sure that you mention the gatekeeper in the opener if you're speaking to the decision maker on phase 2. And then you say so, and you repeat the hook. So basically what we do, John, is we're looking to partner with a car detailer. Actually, it wouldn't be a car detailer because they don't have front of house. You'd say we're looking to partner with a construction company in Vancouver who's looking to take on an extra couple of jobs each month. Now, the best part is we can do this on a complete pay per result basis, and we're literally offering a free trial for one person in your area. So I'm just wanting to see if you'd be interested in learning more about how it works. And he would say, yeah, okay, sure. So you drop the hook and then you go into discovery. Okay, so you do a really quick discovery where you identify their problem. Now, what you want to say is this. Now, we have a process for how we get results for our clients, but what I wanted to ask is what are the key things that you're looking to do with your lead generation and marketing right now, just so I can get an understanding of what you're looking for. And he'd say, well, we're looking for this and this and this. And he said, great. What is your current process for that? And he's going to say, well, our current process is this, this, and this. And you say, well, how's that working out so far? he'll say, it's not bad, but it could be better. And when he says it could be better, you want to say, when you say it could be better, what do you mean? And he's going to say, well, this and that. And then you go, okay. And then the last question that you want to ask before you transition into what I call the mini pitch is you say this. So John, if there's anything that you could kind of change or change the outcome specifically with the way that you're generating new business right now, what would it be? And some people might just say, well, more the better. And you say, okay, but is there like a quality issue? Could it be more efficient? Like it's taking your sales reps too long to close a deal, or the deal sizes are too small, or the lead qualities are low? Like what? Or you're spending too much on ads? What could possibly give them some, examples? Sort of feed the beast. And he'll say, well, it could be this. Okay. Now you want to write those things down. So you want to make sure that you write. I just got to pull my screen up again here. Damn, where did it go? Just bear with me, team. Yeah, so you want to write the 4 things. So remember, what are you looking for? What is your current process? How's it working out? What would you change, or what would be different about it if you could make it different? Okay. Then you want to go into the mini pitch. Okay, so the mini pitch is where you go like this. So John, we have a process for actually getting you the result. Do you mind if I take you through it? Now, the mini pitch consists of 2 parts. It consists of what you do and then how you do it, okay? So basically say, John, what we do is we Now, how we do that is you want to usually use your mechanism here. So if you guys don't know what a mechanism is, I'm going to write a definition below in the comments. But you want to go through what your mechanism is, and then then you want to go into your transition. Okay, so the transition goes like this. So based on what I've said, John, what we typically do is book in a 20-minute Zoom call where I can take you through over screen share the results that we're getting right now and how we could implement the same thing into your business. If you got 20 minutes free, either later today or tomorrow, let's book in a call. And then you want to book in the call. Now, one really important factor for when you're doing this is you need to make sure that you only book in within 24 to 48 hours. If you book in like next week or next month or whatever, you're going to have someone no-show. Now, the big issue with cold calling is the no-shows. Like you get so many no-shows. And so it's very important, just to address the no-show thing a little bit quickly, it's very important that between phase 1 and 2, you really work hard to make sure that the lead shows up onto the second phase. So you have call reminders, you call them before, you really make sure that you establish the fact that they're showing up to this call. Now, you want to book in the 3rd call, which is the closing call. Really, to be honest, you want to book it in only 24 to 48 hours in advance so the information is fresh. If it takes too long, like if they say do it next month, it's not a booking, like they're going to no-show. Or next week's almost not a booking, they're going to no-show. So make sure that at phase 3, you book them in 24 to 48 hours in advance, okay? Now, this whole process here is going to be your typical high-ticket sales script. So I'm not going to go through step by step how to do that, because the point of this video was really to show you how to get these book calls. Now, honestly, guys, these are the numbers that I've seen. If you can do like 10 dials to good quality prospects, you can easily land one of these calls. I would recommend doing 20 dials to good quality prospects using this method to land 2 of these calls every day. So set a goal to make sure that you get 2 intro calls booked every day. Now, out of those 2 intro calls, if you're good and you practice, you could easily land both of them, but you'll get at least one booking into a demo strategy call, okay? So if you break down the numbers, I'm just gonna scroll up a little bit here. So if you break down the numbers and you go, if I do $100 a week, I will get 10 intro calls and 5 demo calls. And that's not exaggerating, right? If you have a good hook, you've got a good list of leads, like you use something like Outscraper, you follow the script, you practice the delivery, you can get 10 intros and then 5 demos, right? And then you should be able to close 1 and then you get 1 sale. So these are the magic numbers. And to be honest, guys, like if you want to sell, if you want a saleable company, this is what they look for, right? They want a repeatable process that they know works, and they want to know how it works. So if you want a company that's going to be saleable and easy to sell, this is exactly what Alex Hormozi did. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I'm going to splice over now to the live cold call recording so you can see how it works. And again, if you guys need any help scaling your agency, click the link below, book in a call with our team or DM me on Instagram and let's run it up. All right. We'll splice over to the call recording.
Hello, this call will be recorded for quality purposes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
Hi, this is Henry. How are you doing?
Oh, good, thank you.
What was your name, sorry?
Maria.
Maria, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. Yeah. So I'm just calling because we are wanting to partner with a property company in Dubai. We're actually based in Australia, and what we do is generate high intent buyers. So we're looking to work with 1 or 2 companies, and we're actually looking to generate you those buyers for the next 60 days completely free, only on a commission basis. So I'm just wondering if that's something that you'd be interested in learning more about.
Yes. Can you send me an email so that I can forward it to my boss and I can let you know whatever they will reply?
Yeah, that's fine. What was your boss's name?
My name is Pinasa. Or you can send me WhatsApp.
Okay. And when would be a good time that I could potentially call back just so we got something in the calendar?
Tomorrow around 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Okay. And what email should I put that under?
Send it to HR.
Yep.
Real Estate AD. And CCB is info at dynastyrealestate.ad.
Did you say HR Dynasty?
Yes, HR at
Yep. realestate.ae. And should I call back on this number?
Yeah, tomorrow around maybe 10 o'clock.
Or is there a better number for me to call on?
Yeah, wait, I'll just give you the number again.
Yep.
Hold on. It's plus 971
Mm-hmm.
509
Mm-hmm.
6748
Mm-hmm.
60.
And just the name, what's the spelling of the name? I thought it was a nice name. I just couldn't hear it properly.
Dinasa. D-I-N-A.
Yes? Dinasa. Okay. So what time? Around 10 a.m.
Yeah, around 10 a.m.
And are you a sales agent there? You do property management, or you're part of the leadership team? Like what's your like role? Just so I'm aware.
I am admin.
Admin. Okay, fantastic. Well, let me book that in, and we'll chat tomorrow around 10 a.m.
Sure.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Do you have any questions for me? Okay, sounds good. Okay, bye. Boom. There we go. What do you reckon, bro? You reckon it was alright?
Respectable. I reckon the intro could have been done a little bit better. Maybe cut down like 2 lines. But,
Yeah. I thought it was pretty good though, I have to say.